Hello, I'm Caitlyn from the K Show. So today we are at the Westin and we're at the Ironman 70.3 Desaru Coast launch in Malaysia. So let's go!
Since 1978, Ironman has defined the sport, growing from a single race into a global movement with over 235 events in 55 countries. Ironman inspires us to reimagine our limits, to set our sights higher. Anything is possible. In Asia, Ironman has grown from only 3 races in 2012 to over 50 races. 2 of which, Ironman Malaysia and Ironman 70.3 Langkawi. Since 2014, Malaysia has seen nearly 15,000 finishes and generated over 150 million ringgit in economic impact, contributing to the growth of the sport and economy in the country. Consistently awarded the top choice race in Asia, Ironman Asia is excited to announce a brand new race in a brand new location in Malaysia. Welcome to the first multi-sport festival in Asia. Headlined by Ironman 70.3 Desaru Coast, the inaugural Desaru Coast Multisport Festival features multiple race formats designed to provide a challenge for everyone. Taking place from the 17th to 19th April 2020. The 3-day festival includes Ironman 70.3 Desaru Coast, 5150 Desaru Coast, Desaru Coast Sprint Triathlon and Iron Kids Desaru Coast. This spectator-friendly event is hosted by Desaru Coast, a lavish, vibrant haven for peaceful getaways, adrenaline junkies, destination race seekers and families and friends. Ironman Asia welcomes you to Desaru Coast Multisport Festival, where the fun never ends.
Why did you choose Desaru Coast as the new location for the event?
Well, Desaru Coast has been in our mind for a long time because, Ironman athletes have these 2 attractions. One is actually to test themselves, right? A new environment, new race. The other one is destination. A lot of Ironman athletes don't like to go to city to race. They like to go to a place where they can bring a family along. As you know, Ironman athletes don't train alone. They actually sacrifice a lot of other stuff like family, work, friends. And when during race week, it's the best time where they reward their family, bringing them to come to the location, support them. And that's the reason why we have a campaign called Ohana. Ohana is very much as a family. Your family doesn't mean there's immediate family. It can be your supporters, your training mates, your family members. You could be your neighbor who wants to come and see you race. Those are all Ohana, and we want to encourage that. So to choose a destination, we must make sure the destination can accommodate all this. We don't want the athletes to just come to race and balik. We want them to come, bring their family. The family go water park, family go to play a golf round, anything like that. And look at how Desaru Coast is structured. We have the kids event on Friday, we have the short distance on Saturday, we have the long distance on Sunday. So if you bring your family, the whole family tree can race. Friday night, your kids go for a race. On Saturday morning, the wife goes for a short distance, and Sunday they wait for their husband and cheer her husband. And Monday they leave. So when you go there, the whole family gets involved, right? So it's not a one-person thing, it's now a whole family involvement.
So Langkawi is one of the hardest Ironman events in the world. How do you think Desaru would compare to that?
Well, it's very different. Langkawi itself, the nature of the island brings that difficulty, the hilly part, the heat as well. And Desaru Coast is really more of a holiday getaway. We call it a tropical haven. So it's not going to be as difficult as Langkawi. Langkawi is going to be the one like ultimate test in Southeast Asia, has endurance, whether how long you can last in the weather and the hill as well. Desaru is fairly flat, just a little bit heat on the bike course. The swim is an open ocean, but the run course is fairly shaded. So it's actually a much easier race than a Langkawi race.
What inspired the design for Desaru's logo for the event?
So when we did a research on Desaru Coast many years, we're trying to ask around, what does people remind them of Desaru Coast? I mean, what's the focus that people go to Desaru Coast for, besides the holiday? And realize that a lot of sport fishermen, people who go in deep sea fishing, come back, catch release, they always end up in Desaru Coast, charter a boat, head out to the ocean and fish. So, and naturally, Desaru Coast was a fishing village as well, many years ago. So we realized that the icon for that event should represent what it was before we came about. So that's why we had a fishing boat with a guy fishing and pulling a fish out. And you look at Iron Kids logo, it's also a fish. It's a very cute fish, right? Yeah, so imagine we're evolving around the concept of how Desaru was evolved over the years.
So last question.
Yeah.
What should the athletes expect from this event?
Okay, what we are looking forward to is to get people to have a quick getaway from cities. You look at how Desaru Coast now has made themselves. Many years ago when we go to Desaru, we used to have to take a 7 hours car ride just to get there. Now if you do an EDL and all, you actually reach there in 3.5 hours to 4. So coming from KL, coming from Senai Airport, even coming from Changi, it's a ferry across from Changi Terminal to Desaru, and then there's a bus that brings you to the hotel. So we don't want the athletes to come alone. We want them to come and experience a getaway over the weekend, like, I'm so tired working, I'm going for a race, I'm bringing whole family again, and have a relaxing weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave Monday and start work again. So we want to give a short getaway on the tropical haven. We're going to create a conducive environment where nobody's left out. So what we are expecting people who come is that they're looking towards getting everybody together, ohana type of concept, rather than I'm going off for a weekend to race and the whole family stay at home. But we want them to take the effort, drive the car down, put the bike at the back, and drive all the way to Desaru. Have a great weekend. Just like when you go to PD or you go to Morib, no, just head on to Desaru. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, guys. Yes. Okay, so we are looking over the weekend about 800 over for Ironman 70.3, plus all the other events together, we are looking at about 1,003. But like Jeff said, we definitely will break that number. Because the first year, it's always a testing ground. We're going to test the community involvement, the roads condition, before we get more people there. But that whole race site can take up to 2,000-3,000 people easily. Yes. It's not like we really want to start lower, but we just want to make sure that the community around there understand what we do. Similar to how we do in Langkawi, we get involved with the community. So the community around there will become our aid station volunteers. So we need to educate them. They cannot handle 2,000 people at one time. They probably can handle 800 people at one time. So as we go along, they get involved, more people will come in, then we get more support locally as well. We don't want to disrupt the livelihood of anybody. As we Ironman go to a location, we want the location to own the event, rather than we own the event. If they own the event, they will come and help us. They will, pour their support. Yeah, they're proud of it. Like in Langkawi now, they actually very supportive. Ironman Malaysia in Langkawi is like their event. We are there to help them pull it off, but their event. They jump out into the aid station to help us. We need a crew at finish line. 100% of my volunteers are from local, same as the Desaru Coast. It won't be from KL, it won't be from Singapore, it will be from the Desaru Coast, Pengerang area. Yeah, that's what we have aimed to do. Thank you.
Why did you choose Desaru Coast as the location for the event?
That's a good question. We've been working on it for the last 5 years and we knew it was going to be an ideal location. One, it's a fantastic location. Big sandy white beaches, new roads, new hotels. The bike course is going to be fantastic and nice and slick and smooth because it's new roads. The run course is great. It's under the trees and the canopy, which is great. The new hotels, but it was also the access. So from an international point of view, you can fly into KL and come down by ferry, or you can fly into Singapore, Changi, and get in there through ferry. So the access for that is great. And Malaysia has grown so much that it definitely deserves another Ironman 70.3 event.
Okay, so second question. Langkawi is one of the hardest Ironman events in the world. So how do you think Desaru would compare to that?
Oh, well, Firstly, Ironman Malaysia in Langkawi is a full distance, so yes, it is one of the toughest. I know. Speaking to a lot of professionals that come back from Kona and then do Malaysia, they're like, wow. I think Desaru will be slightly different because it's a half distance. It's still going to be difficult, but I think the course is really good. I mean, the swim will be ideal. The cycle is undulating, so it's not as hilly as Langkawi, so that'll be great, and it'll be on really fast, slick roads, which is great. And I think the run, it'll test everyone. There's a few sort of undulations and hills in there, but a lot of it is protected. Whereas the Langkawi run, it's really hard to find shade. So I think Desaru's got some good pluses there.
So what do you think the athletes should expect from this event?
I think it's going to be fantastic because it's not just the Ironman 70.3. You've got the 5150, you've got the sprint, you've got the kids. That's going to entice a lot more clubs to come, and whether the newcomers are doing the sprint or the 5150 and the senior guys and girls are doing the 70.3. I think there's going to be more family that wants to be involved in Desaru because it's a great location with the theme parks, the water park, all those kind of things. So there's a lot to do. So I think it's going to create a really good atmosphere. And in front of the Western Hotel and the Hard Rock Hotel where it's based, there's a real amphitheatre sort of feel to it. So I think you're going to have a lot more spectators because of those extra events, and it's going to create a really fantastic atmosphere. So really looking forward to it. I think it's going to grow really well over time.
But how many participants are you expecting?
Look, we've kept it fairly low in the first year. We're not expecting huge numbers. We don't like to go and create a 3,000 person event first off. We spoke to government and our KPIs are around 800 in the first year, but to be honest, we've already sold 400 before the launch, so we're over 400 at the moment. I think I think anywhere between 1,200 and 1,500 could possibly be the uptake for this year, which would be fantastic. Or next year, I should say.
So last question, what inspired the design for Desaru's logo for the event?
That is a very good question, and you should ask my graphic designer or my head of marketing who's over here. I think normally what we do is we get a feel for the locals and what it's about, and we spent a lot of time with the fishing industry guys there, because when we go to a new location, especially the swim course, we don't know what's out there, what tidal effects, what currents, all that. So the fishing and the boat seem to resonate with Desaru and how it was a fishing village, and it still is basically. But so that resonated really well. But I think that's how our marketing people got inspired that way. But I'll just say that.
Okay, thank you so much.
No worries, thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, so the reason behind the design for the logo, we actually took inspiration from the leaf of the ambong plant in Desaru, which can be found there. So with that leaf, we created the Desaru Coast motif, and then from that logo, we applied it to the rest of the design. So actually, it's very cultural, and we try and take in local flavors and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the presentation of the new course?
There has been races in Desaru previously. In general, Desaru is a very fast course. It's very suitable because very minimum traffic, and I like it very much because it's the course and the beach is really beautiful and it's very friendly for families as well.
What do you think of the presentation of the new course?
It's gonna be a tough one and a really hot place, but it will be interesting.
So last question, Langkawi is one of the hardest Ironman events in the world. How do you think Desaru will compare to that?
Okay, so Desaru probably will not have such big hills to conquer, but I think there are other elements like the heat, and it's a rolling terrain, so it's hard to get your rhythm. So yeah, I guess that would be the.
So, but what do you think of the presentation of the new course?
Fantastic! I'm excited. It's gonna be very, very Malaysian. I think it's gonna be super hot, pretty tough course, but we are Malaysian, so we'll be okay for that kind of course.
Do you think it will be easier than the other courses you do?
No, I think it will be one of the moderately hard course, one of the harder courses, definitely.
So what do you think of the presentation of the new course?
It
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I did once before the 2 years back this course, but it's a sprint distance. I love it. I like the course. Yeah.
So what do you think of the presentation for the new course?
Me just now? I think it was good. I think it was great because for me personally, I've never been to Desaru, so it was kind of interesting, and I think the place is very suitable and good for tourism as well. And then I think a lot of people will come because it's really new, and I think the place is safe and really nice. I mean, I've yet to go, but it looks good from the video. So yeah.
Okay. Do check out Ironman 70.3 Desaru Coast, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The K Show. I'm Caitlyn, and that's a wrap.